everybody. Hello, junior scientists. Welcome to another edition of Mr. Ryan's Science. Today we're going to do an experiment with something you guys all know. This right here, an egg. I love eggs. It's one of the most versatile foods in the world. But here's a question for you. When you put an egg in water, does it sink or does it float? Today we're going to do an experiment and talk about density. And we're going to see if our little magic friend here will sink or float when we put him in a beaker full of water. All right, we're going to use our little chemistry setup here to do our experiment. So I have two beakers right here. If you don't have beakers at home, you can use your regular glasses. I'm going to fill mine up to about 80 milliliters of water. Right about there. All right, I want to make sure there's the same amount in each one. All right, oops, a little too much in that one, so I'll let just a little bit out. Right about there. Okay, perfect. All right, now what we're going to do is we are going to take our egg here. I'm going to drop a little bit out of this one just so we don't get a splash. All right. I'm going to take our egg here and I'm going to put it in our beaker and see what happens. What's happening to the egg? Whoop. Well, besides making a splash, it sank right to the bottom. So what can we do over here to our milliliter to make this different, to our 80 milliliters? We're going to take about a quarter cup of salt, and we're going to pour it here in the water. Just like this. All right. Now, I'm going to take my pipette here and stir it up really good. The water a little bit cloudy here. Just like that. Okay? And all that salt is dissolving inside of our water. All right, almost ready here. Now we're going to take another egg, just like the one we put in this water, but we're going to put it inside this beaker and see what happens. If you noticed, the egg is floating at the top. Why would the egg float at the top in one and sink to the bottom in the other? Well, that's because of something called density. Right now, this egg is far more dense than the water. That means it has more matter inside and is taking up more volume than the water. So it sinks down to the bottom. But over here we added salt to this one. And when it was mixed in the water became more dense. So now when our egg is put in, it floats on the top. Pretty amazing. We have one egg that sank and one egg that floats. All because of density. One other word we can learn today is buoyancy. That's something that is able to float. To be buoyant is to float. So our egg has some buoyancy because of its density right now. Excellent experiment, everybody. So was that a pretty cool experiment or what? Who would have thought that an egg can both sink and float, depending on how you use it? You know what? I think I'm going to go eat this egg right now because I love eggs. So the next time you have your morning scrambled eggs or your next boiled egg that you eat, or even when you're dyeing eggs at Easter time, think about how amazing they are and how they can both sink or float depending on the density. Until next time, science on, everybody.